It's Cinemassacre's Monster Madness around the world. Today, we're going to Cuba, but actually, the film we're talking about is a Spanish and Cuban production, though it was filmed in Havana, Cuba, which is where it takes place. And because we already have another film from Spain on the list, this makes Juan of the Dead qualify as our Cuban pick. In the movie, something called the Special Period is often mentioned. Cuba and the Soviet Union traded goods with each other, but after 1991, the Soviet Union came to an end. With it, Cuba lost their oil trade and political and military support. It's a time when resources were scarce and rationing meant absolute survival. A core value of Juan is if he could survive the Special Period, he could survive anything. Now, with a title like Juan of the Dead, it's very obvious that's derived from Shaun of the Dead, which was derived from Dawn of the Dead. So what is this, a parody of a parody? It might seem ridiculous and stale with the abundance of zombie films, from the slow-walking kind to the running kind, from the shoot-em-in-the-head kind to the crawling body parts kind, with Nazi zombies, space zombies, pet zombies, and even zombie sheep. But hang in there, it's pretty good. The movie opens with Juan floating out at sea fishing. He also has a friend Lazaro with him at all times, who provides more humor and reminds me of the Nick Frost character from Shaun of the Dead.
I love his mom. Ed. She's like butter. Ed.
Not to mention, both Juan and Shaun have wooden paddles. Juan is a Casanova on the streets. He's also a bit on the deadbeat father side. After he risks his life to save his estranged daughter Camilla, Juan builds a zombie removal service with a few of the surviving people in his town. This movie doesn't hold back with the parodies and cliches, which actually works in its favor. There's a Mike Tyson lookalike, the badass girl, the bumbling sidekick, the hot guy, and the hero. The fight scenes are everything you can imagine in a zombie B-movie, with notes of Airplane added. The kill that stands out to me is when they decapitate a crowd of zombies using a wire attached to a car. Just watch. So good. Another hilarious reference from Dead Alive is when they meet an English-speaking preacher and his mission is to kick ass for the Lord, before he gets comically harpooned to death. The movie really doesn't take itself seriously, so it can get away with a lot of slapstick moments. Like in one of the funniest parts, they're just chilling out and comment that they can't see the sunset because a building's in the way, but suddenly the building collapses and they casually put their sunglasses on. There's another part where Lazaro has been infected by a zombie bite, and it's a really heartfelt moment, and his final wish is to see the sunrise with Juan, and then he confesses his love for Juan and asks for a blowjob before dying. Of course, it's all a bromantic gag, so it kinda takes a comedic turn even in these serious moments. And again, being reminiscent of Shaun of the Dead, is when Shaun confesses his love for Ed before leaving him. After the Cuban Revolution, Fidel Castro made the Cuban Film Institute. Cuba faced so much political turmoil, but that didn't stop the pursuit of filmmaking. Soon, a long list of Cuban movies will be made and labeled art house classic. Juan of the Dead is a mixture of so many horror classics. There's the business startup of Ghostbusters, the friendship of Shaun of the Dead, Spanish humor such as El Chavo del Ocho, nunchuck wielding and martial art fight scenes you'd see in obscure 70s films, and with not so subtle but hilarious political jabs. The end credits are badass too, with the final touches of zombie graphic novels. I think this is the freshest zombie film I've seen in a while, so I recommend checking it out.